Hey everyone, my name is Melissa Rochelle and I am a holistic wellness and relationship coach. So let's talk about why most people suck at dating and relationships. Most people put a lot of effort, time, and energy into getting to know other people, but very few people are willing to put as much time, energy, and effort into getting to know themselves. One of the biggest complaints many relationship coaches and matchmakers have is that many of their clients lack self-awareness. So much so that even a ripped Jesus, humanitarian type of dating coach, will want to run out into the street, screaming, pulling their hair out and yell, "I quit." Most people fear looking in the mirror and increasing their self-knowledge because they're afraid of what they'll discover about themselves. But you can't see your greatness if you're afraid to see your flaws. Why? Because the things that make us great are diametrically opposed to our flaws. Example, people who are great at planning usually aren't very good at being spontaneous because planners operate on an aim, ready, shoot basis. They think, then they do. On the other hand, spontaneous people operate on a ready, shoot, aim basis. They do, then they think. So although part of the increased self-awareness process might be painful, be courageous enough to look yourself in the mirror. And also remember that most of what you think are your weaknesses and flaws are actually self-imposed and perceived limitations. So if you want a dream relationship that will make the majority of people seethe with envy, you have to be honest with yourself about what your strengths and your weaknesses are. But here's the good news. It is useless to spend too much time focusing on your weaknesses. Take a glance at your weaknesses, but focus on your strengths. Here's a metaphor to explain why. Let's pretend you are a sailboat, but unfortunately, you have a leak. Let's call that leak your weaknesses. Now, if you have the least shred of common sense, you will not ignore that weakness, that leak, because you will sink. I absolutely urge you to attend to that leak. In fact, it is critical that you do. In the real world, our leaks, our weaknesses, can make us sink unless we take care of them. So yes, put some effort into stopping that leak. Having taken care of the leak, you should understand one very important thing though. Even if you stop the leak 100%, you will still not be able to get anywhere. It is your sails, your strengths in this case, that actually give you forward momentum. You need to take care of your leak to prevent yourself from sinking, but you need to hoist your sails to catch a favorable wind and move forward. So, be bold and bravely go where few men and few women have gone before. Look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself questions like, what are my values? What is my vision for my life? What is my life purpose? And for further self-knowledge, ask yourself questions like, I am most myself when? What makes me feel in flow? Being in flow energizes us. Your flow zone are those things you can do for hours and never get tired, and you lose track of time. What would I like to change in the world? What do I stand for? One of the programs I use with my relationship coaching clients is called Conscious Dating. It's about being very intentional when you date. Here are 3 things that I work with my clients to identify: the vision they have for their life and their relationship, their values, their life purpose, their relationship requirements, and their relationship needs. When most people read this list, they think, oh, great, I already know what these are for me, but not so fast. You might think you know, but do you really? Let's find out. Grab a pen and a sheet of paper. Number your paper from 1 through 3 and list these 3 things. Number 1, vision, values, and life purpose. Number 2, relationship requirements. And number 3, relationship needs. We're going to do a quick assessment to see just how well you know these things about yourself. Here we go. For each category, give yourself 1 point for every statement you agree with. First, let's find out your vision, values, and life purpose. Number 1, I have a vivid vision of what I want for my life and my relationship. Number 2, I am clear about my values and live by them. Number 3, I have clearly defined my life purpose and put it into action daily. Number 4, I know where and how I want to live. Number 5, I have written goals and an action plan to help me achieve my vision. Number 6, I am living my life fully and in alignment with my vision, values, and life purpose. So how many points did you get out of 6? The lower your score, the higher the risk for relationship failure. So let's move on to relationship requirements. Give yourself 1 point for every statement you agree with. Number 1, I know what I will not tolerate in a relationship and don't tolerate these things. Number 2, I know what I can't live without in a relationship and don't settle for less. Number 3, I know what values I must share with a partner. Number 4, I am clear about what personality traits and qualities I most value in a partner. Number 5, I am clear about what interests and activities I must share with a partner. Number 6, I have a written list of requirements and will not enter a relationship even if one is missing. And number 7, I know that only I can be responsible for my own life and happiness. How many points did you get out of 7? The lower the score, the higher the risk for relationship failure. Now moving on to relationship needs. Again, give yourself 1 point for every statement you agree with. I am clear about what I need for a relationship to function for me on a daily basis. Number 2, I am clear about what I need emotionally to feel loved in a relationship. Number 3, I am clear about my boundaries and how to enforce them to get my needs met. Number 4, I ask for what I need and want and take responsibility for the outcome. Number 5, I do not expect a relationship to meet all my needs and make me happy. Number 6, I have a support system to supplement meeting my social and emotional needs. And number 7, I have inner strength that helps me be self-reliant and proactive about my needs. So how many points did you get out of 7? Again, the lower the score, the higher the risk for relationship failure. At this point, it should be obvious why knowing what your vision, values, life purpose, relationship requirements, and relationship needs increase your chances of having a happy and satisfying relationship. Now that we have all of the background information out of the way, if you're ready to begin doing the work, let's get into part 2 of this video. This part will help you to identify your values. When we talk about values, many people think about character traits like honesty and trustworthiness. Although these things are indicative of the things we value, they're not the values we're talking about here. Your values are your personal beliefs and ideals that you believe are important. We use our values as a guide for making decisions and evaluating the behavior of other people. Our values are our genetics plus family upbringing, plus the culture we were raised in, plus our own personal unique experiences. These values motivate why you do what you do and make the decisions that you make. They are central to who you are as a person. With enough effort, you can make a relationship in which you and your partner don't have the same values work, but having the same values as your partner increases satisfaction and fulfillment in the relationship. The chances that the relationship will be successful and your overall level of happiness in the relationship. Why? Because having the same values as your partner makes it less likely that your partner will question why you make the decisions that you make, because it will be obvious to them. And this increases limbic resonance, which is a fancy way of saying that your relationship has a high capacity for deep emotional connections, and the connection is stronger. You vibe effortlessly, and the other person just gets you. There are many great tools you can use to identify your values, but here we are going to use the 10 culturally universal values themes. These values are the top 10 values found amongst many countries and many cultures. So, number your paper from 1 through 10 and list the 10 universal values. The lowest value score you can get is 3 and the highest is 15. Here is the scale. Give yourself 5 points if the statement is exactly like you, 4 points if it's somewhat like you, 3 points if it's neither like you or unlike you, 2 points if it's somewhat unlike you, and 1 point if the statement does not describe you at all. Congrats! You just identified your top 3 values. These top 3 values are the values you want to keep in mind as you date. Again, yes, you can make a relationship work even if you and your partner don't share the same values, but it's a lot harder to maintain limbic resonance or deep emotional connection. Just because something can work doesn't mean it's the best decision to make. I mean, you can get around your house by hopping on one leg, but why would you do that if you have the option to walk on two? For those of you who are more confused than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, leave your questions in the comments. In this video, we identified your values. In later videos, we will create your life vision and your vision for your relationship. We will identify your life purpose. We will identify your relationship requirements, and we will identify your relationship needs. As Einstein famously said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So if you're ready and excited to get some practical and doable tools to help you date intentionally, or if you are already in a relationship, or if you know someone who desperately needs some relationship help, remember to like, subscribe, and share, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you.